Hello, this is Brandon again, and I want to pick up where I left off yesterday, talking about the dream of the red horse riding into Jerusalem and how God had revealed from Zechariah 1 what that represented, that it represented war, and that seventh verse said on the 11th day of the 24th month, or the 11th month, the 24th day, that the red horse rode into Jerusalem. And how God revealed on that date there would be a seasonal shift in Jerusalem over that city. The shift would entail nations rising up against Jerusalem, and the shift would entail the judgment of war. And I was hesitant, of course, as I shared, and but God, just told me to write it down and pray into it, that the 11th month, the 24th day, you would see the sign confirming that shift and the judgment of war over that city. As Zechariah said in his day, to turn Jerusalem back to God. And so he called that day, or he called that shift or that season, in my heart and in my spirit, the beginning of sorrows. And as I shared in the last clip, actually on that date, 3 weeks later, 6 superpower nations met concerning Iran's ability to enrich uranium to make nuclear weapons, and in essence ease the sanctions on Iran, enabling them to continue to do what Israel believes that they're doing, in building a nuclear weapon to wipe Israel off the map. And on that day, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, declared that we will preemptively strike Iran to keep them from enriching uranium to build a nuclear weapon. We will go to war if necessary to keep them from doing what they're doing, and we will not abide by these superpowers, these sanctions or loose sanctions. And so God confirmed that there's a seasonal shift over that region, and that he's raising up watchmen. He's warning men and women that have his heart for Jerusalem to begin to pray for the peace of Jerusalem until he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. But he called it the beginning of sorrows, and I want to read Matthew 24, where that phrase is actually mentioned and what that actually means. Because when you actually understand what the beginning of sorrows are, you have a greater understanding of not only how to pray, but what God is actually doing in the time of judgment. He's actually trying to turn the heart of a people back to him. His judgment, they are always redemptive. And so in Matthew 24, the first chapter, I was actually stunned when I read the first 2 verses, and God spoke something in my spirit concerning verse 2. It said, Jesus went out and departed into the temple, from the temple, and his disciples came unto him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as I read that second verse, instantly I thought about 70 AD when the temple was destroyed. And I said, well, that verse has been fulfilled. 70 AD, the temple was destroyed. And he said, no, you think again, look again. And I looked at the verse, and he said, where are you? And I was actually at this time headed to the Wailing Wall, the wall that is up, that is the last standing piece from the temple that Jesus was actually looking at 2,000 years ago. That wall is still up, and so that prophecy has not fully been fulfilled. If it was fulfilled in 70 AD, then it would mean that Jesus' words are not 100% accurate, because there's still stone left upon another. And Jesus said, there shall not be one stone left upon another that shall not be thrown down. And so that word still has to be fulfilled. And God began to tell me and show me that during this season, the beginning of sorrows, when God begins to turn his people's heart back to him, that one of the things that's going to happen is things that are disrupted. That wall is going to come down. When things are disrupted and we are uncomfortable in our faith and our pursuit after God, it challenges us to do something different. God will always disrupt our lives and the things that we look to and lean upon, that we equate with Him, to actually get us to look to Him and not that thing. And I believe that's going to happen during this season and this shift. And I believe God is wanting us to rise up and begin to pray as a body, as His church. He's wanting to raise up watchmen on the wall, the spiritual wall for Jerusalem. And so over the next couple of weeks, we're going to continue talking about this verse and the 8th verse where it talks about the beginning of sorrows. I want to remind you that we're meeting in Gahanna. We're developing interest meetings and where we're going to have services every Saturday night at 6 at the Gahanna Creekside Conference Center, 81 Mill Street, the second floor. This Saturday, we're going to continue talking about God's heart for Jerusalem and the church becoming a house of prayer. I want to invite you to that, and just want to encourage you that I believe God wants to do exceeding abundantly above what we thought concerning the church, and that He's getting ready to do something in our day that if it was told us, we wouldn't believe it. And I want to invite you, and I want to continue to share these clips. And I believe God's going to enlighten us, and I believe it's going to be a blessing to you. God bless you and have a blessed day.